The Hold Fast Social Club presents So You're Kinda a Big Deal with your hosts, Shawn Hedley and Dave Allen. Welcome to So You're Kinda a Big Deal, a weekly podcast deep diving into the lives of emerging and established tattoo artists. Listen in as we dig into origin stories, industry hot topics, and what it takes to survive in the world of tattooing. This is Tattoo Shop Talk. It's funny, it's crass, inspiring, and sometimes we get it right. Join your hosts Shawn Hedley and Dave Allen every week as we host a new guest. Hey, I'm Dave Allen. I brought you a Hold Fast, Stay Gold docuseries, and I've got a new service. It's called the Hold Fast Social Club, and it's basically a matchmaking service for tattoo studios and tattoo artists. As an artist, we used to have these tight little networks we could rely on to find new places to work, guest spot. As the industry's exploded, all these networks have been fractured, and there's people in your own town you don't even know. There's shop owners you've never met before. Wouldn't it be nice if there was some kind of service that would vet the shops, that would take your needs seriously and match them against the tattoo studio's needs as well, so that you're gonna have the highest rate of success with these matches. You can meet and work in studios as guests or as a full-time gig with people you never would have had access to before. That's what the Hold Fast Social Club aims to do. I think all our volumes are good. Oh, fuck you, Shawn Hedley.
I was doing the countdown.
This whole podcast is going to be Shawn Hedley trying to alpha male the situation because there's a girl in the room.
Oh, fucking please.
Just watch.
Love it.
If I'm going to alpha male for anybody, it's going to be for her man.
I would.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, who's your man? Let's talk about that right away.
Mike.
We can just
His name is Mike. Super fucking hot. Yeah. Oh yeah. Freedom Fab.
Freedom Fab. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Check him out. Check him out on Instagram. He sells cool. He makes really cool custom stuff for cool bikes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So we have an interesting setup. You two side by side. Where are you guys? You're in Champion.
We're at Champion.
Cool.
Yeah. Figured backdrop's all right.
Is that one of those really awesome wide armrests?
Yes, it is actually.
And how is it for tattooing on other than being a coffee table?
I've never used it.
What?
Yeah, it's Wesley's, and he fucking loves it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not cute. Yeah. It looks great. I just don't feel like spending the amount that this costs.
How much are they?
Cheap.
$450.
$450, and then you got to get them shipped from Europe.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Someone's got to start making those in Canada.
I'm still using a fucking massage table with barely any padding on it that I bought for $180 like 10 years ago.
Nice. Cheapskate.
I give all my money to Dax for his fucking stupid machines that I love. Anyways,
let's get started.
Shae. Shae, this
Motz.
is Dave. And you're on So You're Kind of a Big Deal. Tell us about you.
Kind of
this is going to be pure comedy. You two should have your own show already.
So bad. It's so bad.
Shae Motz, is that like short for Shamalika Matzo Balls?
Do you want me to say my full name on the internet?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Shae
Of course it is.
Nicole Leontina Motz.
Leontina?
Wow.
Yeah, try writing that on a customs form. I'm like, you motherfucker.
Oh my god. Well, like, is that like Edmonton Italian or what is that?
Well, my grandma's German, and my whole side of my mom's all Israeli, so I don't know. It's just
Holy
crazy,
cow!
but,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So you wonder
That's
why
a cool
I shortened
combo.
it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, cool combo.
You must have been tongue-tied as a kid. Like, I don't even know how to pronounce my own name.
Lots of inner turmoil. Yeah.
Yeah. The German always trying to beat the Israeli out of you.
Jew. one.
Oh, we're fucking canceled now.
Yeah, I've told you it's gonna be second. Like, kicked off the internet.
Yeah. So Kanye West.
President?
We're gonna go down as our most offensive podcast. It's, if anything like the pre-podcast talk we had.
I'm so sorry again.
No, it's okay.
All right. Well, Dave always likes to know, like, your start. How did you get started in tattooing?
I
I started. Oh,
no, go ahead. I just think that's a fascinating place to start because most people don't know, right?
yeah. I actually get asked a lot. It's awesome. I started apprenticing under Mike Peace, Parlor Studios. Yeah.
Nice.
He asked me one day because he knew he gave me my first tattoo when I was 15 years old.
You son of a bitch.
He was he grooming you?
Yeah. But so I've been tattooed by him for, it was close to a decade before I even started. So I've known him. I hung out with, the whole Bushido crew and everything. I was always that annoying little girl hanging out, and I just wanted it. And then I went back to school because my dad said, like, no, you're not going to tattoo. You're going to get an education. So I did. So I was a graphic artist for about 8 years. And then, Mike knew how bad I wanted it. And he called me up one day and he was like, do you want to learn a tattoo? And I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. Like, don't say things like that unless you mean it. And he meant it. So, he knew. Like, he knew how bad I wanted it. And I think he knew how bad something new like that would work. So he was really stoked to bring me in. And it was a really cool opportunity just to kind of get in the door. And I started with him and it was really, really cool.
What year was that?
I've been tattooing for almost 6 years. So I don't know, 6 years ago. You do the math.
God damn it. Another one that's only like 5, 6 years in.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But for me, it was years and years and years of.
We got to start bringing more people on to make us look good.
Yeah, totally. Well, that's. I was going to listen.
I'm here. Yeah.
Oh my god!
And you were with Mike. You weren't with Mike very long. How long were you?
A year and a half.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's. Mike and I had a really good relationship and respect. Originally, so he was very well aware of where I wanted to go and how quickly I wanted to get there. I was very stubborn, and I was like, balls to the walls. I'm not doing anything half-assed, and he was very encouraging of that, which was really cool. Like, he just said, get to where you need to go, and then I got to the point where I was like, it was time to fly, and he was super supportive of it, which was awesome.
What was that apprenticeship like? Was it like a traditional style apprenticeship, or were they, because you had an art background, were you tattooing right away?
I'd say I was tattooing right away. Mike was really good. I had a lot of technical learning at first, and then it was really cool because, we'd have our art nights and I would show him my fine art background and he'd show me his tattoo background, and it was a really cool mutual teaching lesson. It was really awesome, but I'd say very quickly. I got thrown to the wolves very quick. He said, go for it, which was pros and cons to that for sure. But it was, there's no other way I would have done it. That's just true Shae fashion, learn the hard way.
Nice. So, nice.
Yeah.
And what was it a big change for you from being a graphic designer?
No, there's just as much weird people in graphic design, but I did oil and gas. I did oil and gas, repetitive, the same tedious, logo package, web design, and it became so mundane. It was just over that. Then I was a graphic artist for a mascot company. So I designed mascots for the NHL, CFL, MLB, huge mascots all over the world, which was different. And I started realizing very quickly how I really liked that change every day, how every day was something different. And that really stimulated me to not be doing the same thing over and over. So when I got into tattooing, if anything, that 10 years of learning to deal with customer service and constructive criticism and understanding changes when you spend 30 hours on something because, that team has $30,000 to spend on a mascot and you're like, cool, this better be good. So honestly, it was just another element of don't disappoint this person and do your best. So it was good. It's hard. It's always hard. It's still hard. Every day it's hard. But I think if anything, it just pushed me. I was challenged more, which I'm stoked for. So,
have you had to tattoo any of the mascots you designed on anybody yet?
No, but I see them on TV, and it's like my little claim to fame. I'm like, I did that. No one
wanna get
cares
one.
that I did
That's
that.
what.
Did you design the really ugly Edmonton one?
No. They wanted like a derrick at one point. I was like, you guys, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, but no, I did lots of NFL. So my boss was the original Harvey the Hound. He made that mascot like 35 years ago in his garage for Calgary Flames, and he just blew up. And it was a really cool business. But that was the one where I really realized that custom designing something different every day, it really like got my brain going. I'm like, okay, like, this is where I want to go with it. So yeah,
cool.
That's good.
And then you got into tattooing and just started doing the same thing every day.
Yeah, it was literally every day, but every single day.
Oh,
no, it's good. It was really good. Honestly, going into tattooing, it was so organic, but it wasn't. I didn't fight anything. Like I knew exactly. It just kind of worked. I went right into it. I had enough of that background that I just went like smoothly into it, which was really cool.
You mentioned that you had pretty big goals and you're driven when you started. What were those goals?
Well,
what did you want to do?
My fine art. I wanted to stick to my surrealistic illustrative style, which I did. And I was very stubborn. I was like, I'm not doing trad. I'm not doing grayscale. I'm not doing these things. Mike's like, well, you're going to have to. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it, which sounds super cool and edgy and badass, but I like severely regret it. Like I should have done so much more. Like that's the biggest con of being really niche and sticking to one style was that the first 5 years, I'm just starting grayscale now. Like I'm just expanding into learning how to do that. So I was very stubborn and I wanted it. I was like, I want that fine art. I want that colorful illustrative. I want the weirdest shit possible to tattoo on people. Again, it's a niche. Not everyone wants a severed duck head on them, right? So,
but all the other styles also will just help you grow in your own style, which you ignored.
Well, I did. Yeah, I screwed up. But in the last 2 months, I've been pushing grayscale, and I'm already coloring differently. Like it's just insane. All those different styles of tattooing, they all come together and they play with each other. And I think now that I'm learning all of those, it's changing everything about how I tattoo. So
cool.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And humbling. Holy shit.
So if you were starting over again, you would take on anything. You would start with whatever came through the door.
Give me all the Tasmanian devils and the grayscale crosses. Like I would take those on now. Like that's the stuff. Like for me, I think anyone who asks me, if you could go back, what would you change? That would be it. Because, I was in my 3rd or 4th convention 2 years in and I got no-showed. And so someone walked up to the booth and they're like, hey, I want to get a rose. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? And Mike's like, you tattoo the rose. I'm like, I don't have 7 hours to draw it. I don't have 7 hours to do a color study. What am I going to do? So I had no flexibility in the sense of just running on the spot. I've done maybe 3 walk-ins in almost 6 years.
Oh,
I'm
crazy.
not even kidding. Yeah.
So did you apprentice in a private studio?
No, it was just the moment I started tattooing, I had such a following already for my artwork and so many people who were so willing to let me fuck up their skin, which was amazing. But I didn't really have a chance to do walk-ins. I pushed myself and, marketed myself so quickly. And that right there is like the new age of tattooing where I relied on social media. I never had to wait for someone to walk in. So again, downfall is I will like shit my pants from being nervous because I don't know how to on the fly work. That's just, I can't.
But how do you tell a new artist though, that if they have a following already, like a lot of young people do, that they should put in that work, that they should hold themselves back? I mean, that's a hard thing to tell anybody, How do you do that?
Especially stubborn people. Like I was the same person. I was super stubborn. Very, it's my way or the highway, which isn't a good way. That's why you have mentors. I said people who guide you. And Mike did try. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he tried. He was like, you have to do these. But without the experiences of failing over and over with something that you're not good at, you're not going to know. Even now, I'm doing all these little small bangers, like these butterflies and moths flat rate so that I can practice. And
nice.
One, that brings you back down to ground zero, humbles you, you're learning. And if you're not willing to do that, and if you think at any point, if you think you haven't learned enough, like sit the fuck down because you have so much more to learn. So
Yeah.
It's
and the longer you're in this, you're gonna forget shit, and then a couple years later, you'll go back to doing something and be like, "Oh yeah, I used to do this.
Yeah.
Why did I stop?"
Yeah.
It's like back shading or back dragging line work, just different techniques and stuff.
Yeah.
If you just are, I don't do that style anymore, then all of a sudden you're not.
100%.
Like, I didn't do Japanese for a long time. I was doing a lot of like whip shading shit, and then I started doing Japanese again, and I'm like, why am I whip shading my fucking wind bars? It's not good. It's not a good look. It doesn't work. No. Shan.
I think you brought up a really interesting point about failure, and that's such a thing in tattooing, is that failure is unacceptable, but the truth is we fail constantly. Now, how does that play a part in an artist's growth? Like, you must have experienced that yourself, because we all have failures.
Oh, well, and it's permanent failure. Like, I lie awake at night haunted by the half sleeves I did 4 months in. Like, it's not okay. But I also think, for example, recently the internet's great, but it's also a downfall because you're only seeing the good tattoos. You're only seeing the pristine lighting. You're only seeing the super clean, fresh tattoos. I recently was very transparent about showing shitty heels, reactions to second skin, reactions to all the glorious numbing sprays, left or right, all that stuff we're putting on ourselves. And I think that it's really important to remember that what you see on the internet is so curated that everyone is afraid to fail because they're like, well, it doesn't look that perfect. Well, it's okay to fail. And it's okay because you're looking at the most perfect, beautiful tattoo on the internet. And being able to fail, and, I have tattoos coming back now that are not only, they're only 2-3 years old, and they look like absolute garbage because I was doing a 3-liner with 30% black. And I'm like, cool, that's non-existent. That's not there anymore. What the fuck? You know what I mean?
That shit looked black when you put it in, though.
It does, or you're like, why is that line 4 times bigger? I don't understand. Do you know what I mean? So unless you see your stuff healed, all the different techniques you've tried, you're never going to know, which is why I beg my clients for healed tattoos, because unless we know we failed and can learn from it, we can't. Yeah. But it's so important to fail because, I mean, it's unfortunate because it's at the expense of permanent, but you can always fix it.
Yeah, well, I think failure on our end is a little bit different than failure for the client. If you're talking about your black falling or your black becoming gray or something, that's a failure for us, but that's not really a failure for the client most of the time.
No, and they love it still. So
they keep coming back.
Yeah. And then, if you try and pass this information on, somebody will take it from you, but then if I say something like that online, if I was to say it online, whatever, old guy, you're just
quit mansplaining.
You're just jealous. We're taking all your clients from you. It's like, you have all my clients. That's okay. Yeah, totally. I've been around. I'm still going to tattoo. I've been around a long time. I've gone through many recessions. Except for my hairline, that's never recessed, so I'm good. No, but it's it's true. It's like there's certain things that we know do and don't work. Some people have definitely over the years where it's like, that's not going to work, but somehow some people have figured shit out. Yes. But then looking at pictures of stuff, I find people don't understand how or why something works, and they try and emulate it, and then it doesn't work for them, and then they don't know how to figure it out because they don't know how to back engineer. Because they don't know how their own tattoos are healing and stuff, right? And I think that's kind of a big problem with the creation of the internet and only putting the good shit out there, It's like, we've talked about this before, when we used to draw with the light blue pencil crayon back in the day, people thought it was, now people are like, oh, just because you like light blue. It's like, no, because the light blue is non-photogenic. So you draw your sketch with the blue and then you use a red or something on top. And then when you photocopy it, the photocopier doesn't pick up the blue.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
That's why we use the light blue, right? But then people start seeing sketches being posted online. It's like, oh, well, I don't like blue. I'm going to do it in purple. It's like, cool. Do it in purple. Yeah. That's not the purpose of what the blue pen was for, right? So if there's no explanation you know, in the bio about certain things, people don't know the context. And so they just try and, you know, bad habits can perpetuate, I find, right? If somebody's not there to say like, oh, hey, maybe you don't want to try that because this or this.
Yeah. Well, it's great to get it's great to get all that information offline, but if you don't have a mentor or somebody who's curating it for you and telling you how it's done, it's fucking worthless. Like, you're just floundering.
Yeah. Well, and not being held accountable too. Like, if you're doing something crappy, like, look how many really shitty artists in this city have clients.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I got lots.
But do you know what I mean? Like, they're not being held accountable because they're just still tattooing, and they still will always have clients. They will always have clients. So not being accountable and not being, you know, shown the right way and being told you're wrong.
Yeah.
How do you even know?
Hey man, when I was a teenager, just quick one. When I was a teenager, I was getting tattooed at Lower East Side in Toronto by Stu K and Bruce. Stu said to me, your attitude will cover up a bad line any day of the week. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I started realizing, man, I know a lot of tattooers that they're not the best. Yeah. They do good tattoos, but they have the best fucking personalities, and it's fun to be around them. Yeah, and it's such an enjoyable time, you know. And it's like, I remember I wanted to get tattooed by this, you know, famous dude in like '94, and then I met him, and I'm like, I'm not paying this guy $200 an hour to spend time with him. He's a dick. You know, so I get it, right? Like, so there's a lot of people that they're not great tattooers, but they're great personalities, and that just keeps bringing people back. Mm-hmm.
It's also easy today to hide. You know, you can start tattooing without a mentor, not in a studio, and then you can be in a private studio for your whole career, never being exposed to other artists criticizing you or helping you by criticizing you.
You see an Amazon account.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have lots of them in Kelowna. It's amazing. I see the work and I'm just like, how the fuck has someone not told this person that they can do better? Yeah. Like, it's not that they're bad. They just haven't, why aren't they striving to reach their true potential and being hungry and like finding someone to teach them, you know?
Tattooing is so popular. It's so busy now for most people that like all the really good tattooers, they're booked up and people don't want to wait. Some people are very willing to wait a long time for very specific styles, for instance.
I booked 2 months out.
You know, and it's like, but like people are willing to wait. There's some people that aren't willing to wait 2 months, right? So they want to get into a good tattooer. Oh, it's 3 weeks out. They'll just go to anybody. So that's how a lot of these like not great tattooers survive also, is that, you know, people are not willing to wait to get into the artist they originally wanted, you know, and other people are also willing just to go to any artist for a tattoo. And it's just like, well, I don't like, did you not look at my work? I don't do this. Why are you asking me to do this? It's like,
I'll get like an email that's like, hey, love your portfolio, obsessed with what you do, you know, blah, 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 smoke up my ass. I really want a grayscale portrait of my 2-year-old. I'm like, what the fuck? No, you don't. Like, you don't want me to do that. But then they're very determined and they say, you know, but I want you to do it. I'm like, but I'm not going to. Here's 7 other people who would kill this and should be doing it.
Yeah,
and they get so frustrated because they want me to do it. I'm like, it's not happening. It's going to look like a 5-year-old did it. Like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think a lot of that it's always been in tattooing, the cult of personality. You know, certain people attract certain other type of people, and people will not take no. They're like, no, I love what you do. You have to tattoo me. And no, it's nothing that you do, but I still want it. You know? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How, like, oh, how you got really good language.
What?
Ask your question.
How important do you find it is to have a niche? Like, you definitely, your work fits into its own niche, and every artist does. How do you find that's helped you build your career, and how important it is to stay true to that?
Well, I think now that I'm, like, we already talked about me expanding onto other stuff, but I think it's super important. I mean, if you're going to be really good at something, you be damn good at it. You know what I mean? Every single tattoo I do, I try not to lose myself as a fine artist and an illustrator in what I did, but I take in all the other different elements. But I mean, if you're a one-trick pony, there's nothing wrong with that because you're a really good one-trick pony. I mean, once you get to that point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it is important. But I also think you should wait until you've experienced all the other things to go into your niche. I'm doing it so backwards. But I think finding something that you're really good at and honing in on it and mastering it and being real, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it has to come from like a platform of all the other things you really wanted to bring into it. I don't know. My work is, I also don't budge on it either. I'm like, no, like that's going to look crappy in that color. Here's what I think you should do. And it's not that I'm trying to, steer the client away from something that they want, but I'm very, very particular in how it looks because I'm stylizing it to look a certain way. I'm very specific, and obviously not with dog porches and stuff like that, which I do all the time, but definitely pushing more of like the neo-traditional, like even, Japanese style stuff, putting that into my things. Like I'm very specific because I also don't want to, step on toes or do something inappropriate. Like I don't want to do something, in Japanese I actually don't understand the meaning of. So like I'm very, very specific in what I do. And I'm very like, this is how I'm going to do it. This is how it's going to look. Let's go.
Yeah.
But I think it is important. And I think that if you're not going to find something and hone in on it, that you can get sloppy. And I think that if you're really focused in on one genre, like me, it's color, illustrative, sweet. I'm focusing on that. I'm honing in on that. Learning grayscale is helping me, but I'm still like, that's my jam.
Yeah.
And that's how I do the best tattoo I possibly can. So I don't see a problem with that, but.
No, not at all. So how long I know you can't give like a number in years or anything like that, but how long do you think, or what point does a young artist get to where they're like, okay, I've tried all this stuff. I know that I should focus on this.
Well, I waited 5 years, so like to do it the other way. So I don't know. I don't know. I think, your entire, and again, mentorships are subjective. There's people who do who have an apprenticeship for 4 years, and there's some who do it for 3 months. So it's in the span of learning, and it's also up to you. We talk a lot about, the mentor should be there and whatever, but you also have to put that fire in your ass. You also have to put yourself to learn those other things. And I personally think that you should be doing it for a couple of years, expanding out, but I don't know the magic number. I don't have any idea, but
I don't think there is a magic number, but I think people should start looking for signs. I know early in my career, I tried everything and failed miserably at pretty much all of it, and still try to still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. If every day I do a tattoo and then I go home and I stare at the photo for 3 hours, picking apart everything I hate, everything I could have done better, everything that was like, oh shit, I could have done this. And I mean, it drives Mike crazy, but I do it. And I think that's a good thing. I think you should always, if you don't think you're a piece of shit once a week, you should stop it.
You're not an artist.
You're not an artist.
Yeah. Speaking of artists, tattooing, art or craft? Polarizing question.
Well, it depends. Are you a tattoo artist or a tattooer? It depends. Like for me, it is a craft, and it is something that's not just a tool or a technique. It's a lifestyle. It's eat, sleep, and breathe. It's something that you dream about, you have nightmares about, you wake up thinking about, and it's your life. So it's not just, it's not just an art form. It's
Rob Hope, suck it.
You embody it. Maybe I'm just neurotic and I obsess over things, and it's not healthy and very toxic trait, but that's how I feel. But that's just me.
No, that's a great answer.
But I'm a fine artist too. Like I've been doing art my whole life. I've been painting since I was 5 years old. So art is art in different forms and mediums, but it's all in one big, it's who you are.
Absolutely. I've always thought tattooing was artistic, but what was different was that you were a commission artist. You were never expressing your inner self at any point with a tattoo. So it's hard to claim being an artist, I think. But Rob Hope might disagree with that. But we'll just keep bringing this up every podcast and throw Rob on the bus.
Yeah. No, but because there's the people where this argument used to happen on the Reed Street Forum, where it's like art or craft is fine. But then some people would be like, what's more important, the art or the technical ability? And there were actually people who were like, oh, the art. And it's like, well, no, if you have shitty fucking line work and fucking janky, scratchy shading, you just ruined your fucking art. Yeah. So
well, I think there's a limit to that too. I think there's actually, I think that's a valid point. you look at older Ed Hardy stuff, and the stuff was loose. It was still technically pretty good, but it wasn't like technically masterful, let's say. But the art was so powerful, right? And I think when you get into that kind of gray area, it's hard to tell. But if the shit is totally janky.
Well, I know. Dave's got this argument though because his line work sucks.
Well, yeah, but like, look
at least I can put color in solid. I told you it was going to come. This is Shawn trying to alpha male the whole thing.
I love it. But if you look at, for example, the argument between iPads, like this is the one that I deal with all the time. So I'm a digital artist. I've been a graphic artist for a very long time. I'm also a fine artist. I paint, everything, draw. If you look at an iPad and drawing it, you can do the best iPad drawing in the world. But then you see it tattooed and you're like, well, that looks nothing like it. So, an iPad's a tool, right? That's a tool. That's not a crutch. It's not a replacement of your art. It's a tool.
Yeah.
So you're looking at the technical part of tattooing, and you're right. And that's the struggle. I look at all the paintings that I did, even to this day, tattooing paintings that I did, and no way come close to what I painted. I just can't do it, and it's not the same. And it's such a different medium and such a different technique that it is very technical. And if you can't technically tattoo, you can't bring art into it.
Yeah, totally.
There's a really weird gray line. And I mean, that's literally, that argument is my struggle every day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of workload do you keep? Do you work 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 2 days a week?
What would I keep?
Yeah, kind of gross.
Yeah. No, I'm curious. Like,
I'm just
fuck
kidding.
Both of you. No, fuck both of you.
Wait till fucking Mike answers that question.
Yeah. No, I
can just turn you both off here.
No, I'm so sorry. My workload's actually, I'm not lazy. I'm very particular. So wintertime, I'm like 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, work my ass off. Usually around June. It's funny, my clients they know riding season's coming up. So they're like, well, good luck getting in with Shae. So my workload is based on, it's seasonal, but I don't book more than 2-3 months out regardless. I don't like stressing myself out like that. I think if you have clients in your chair every day, and you can look at the next week and see clients in your chair, you're doing great. And I think the whole bragging about being booked 2 years out thing is kind of over since COVID. I think everyone really fucked up on that, and they realized how dumb that was. They're like, oh shit, I can't do anything for the next 4 years. So, but I don't, I mean, I'm doing every piece I do other than obviously pet portraits are custom. So everything I do, it's 4 or 5 hours a night, every night. And I don't have the ability to look past the next 2 days. So if I'm booked out till even a year, it just makes me want to vomit. So I don't try to put too much on myself so that I can really focus on the tattoos now. I try to always have my tattoos drawn a couple days before if I can. But I mean, let's be honest. Sometimes we're drawing really big pieces the day before, which is not good. But
day before.
Hour before for you? Yeah. Or you just draw it on. He draws it on.
Yeah. The reason I ask is the question was more about life-work balance. A lot of us struggle with working too much, No.
I mean, yes, I don't know, because I've always been really good at that. I've always been really good at, but the whole burnout thing, and I'm the opposite. I challenge people who think that hustle culture is toxic. Work your ass off. Why is it toxic? If I want to work my ass off and be better at my craft and,
totally.
Be able to go and do the things that I love, I'm going to do it. I hear that a lot when people say, oh, screw hustle culture. No, screw your laziness. I'm going to work my ass off and I'm going to tattoo and enjoy life. That's my balance.
Yeah.
I can fuck off to go ride my motorcycle and come back and tattoo for 2 weeks and be stoked on that. But that's because I work hard to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm all about hustle culture, and I'm sure the burnout will come and I'll tattoo through the burnout. I don't know.
Or if not, you'll just ride your bike for a while.
I'll just ride my motorcycle for a while.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's some people we know people that are, they probably don't consider themselves part of the hustle culture. Yeah. They fucking work hard, man. And they work a lot. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you have to call it? Why do you have to call it something? It's called working every day.
Yeah.
Paying their bills and being an adult and then enjoying the life that you have. I don't understand why it has to be this like hustle culture.
And everybody has a different balance, right?
Sorry?
Everybody has a different balance. You know, like my idea of what working hard is different than Shawn's idea of working hard, you know? Like,
yeah, because I hardly work.
I know.
But again, my toxic trait of, you know, if you think that what I do is toxic and it's really bad for you, that's fine, but that's just how I work. Yeah. That's how I function.
But that's the problem now, is that people have to, like, people don't point inwards and try and figure their own shit out. They're just like, you know what? You working that hard makes me feel bad, so you're toxic.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. Drink Drano. Shut up.
I don't know. I have a great balance. I find things that I love outside of tattooing. I still make time for painting. I also don't force myself to paint. I think the internet also forces people to feel like they're like having FOMO from painting. Like you see all these tattooers posting, look at me, I'm painting 8 hours a day outside of tattooing 8 hours a day. I'm like, cool, good for you. I'm lucky if I get one painting done a year and I chip away at whenever I can. That's enough for me. Again, it's the internet. You see other artists doing it and you're like, oh, well, she's painting every night. Cool. That works for you. I have to find what works for you.
So, totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. I can't remember the last time I did a painting. Right? I do remember. I didn't complete it. I ripped it up.
Yes, burn it.
I do that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I did a flash sheet and just tore it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Water. Yeah. Derek worked so hard on a flash sheet there a couple weeks ago and then just splash the rinse cup all over it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, I don't remember. Last painting I finished was that skateboard. You drew a Skull Reaper on it, like just rough, and then you left it behind. I ended up painting it over COVID.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever send me a picture of that?
I will.
Didn't turn out, eh?
Turned out great. I got a bunch of money for it. Thanks, Heath, for buying it.
Fuck. Where's my cut? Concept was mine.
Yeah. And then and then the two paintings I finished before that also were during COVID, and I gave one to Mike Pryor and one to Glenn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, cool.
And that's it. I'm good now for 5 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, I got to paint a mannequin.
What?
I said no to that.
Did you say no to that?
Fuck no. No.
Yeah, that sounds hard. What's it for?
I don't know. An art show?
Oh, so that sounds creepy as fuck.
It's offensive. I'm gonna make mine actually offensive. I'm gonna like tie it up like it's a gutted deer.
Okay. Oh, like chainsaw though, like right up.
Ed Gein.
Like right up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna do like an anal hook posture tie on it and stuff. And yeah.
But Shan had all of them in the shop, and it was perfect timing because Jeffrey Dahmer just came out.
Yeah.
So we had all these mannequins in the center, and like, man, the timing was perfect. I was like, this is the creepiest fucking thing in the world. So into it.
Yeah. Mannequins are like clowns. They're just weird. I don't get it.
Yeah. I should have brought it out and put it right here.
Yeah.
Shawn's girlfriend.
No. My girlfriend's way prettier than my gray mannequin.
Oh, crazy. So, Shawn, you got any more questions for Shae? I mean, we've sort of just got past her apprenticeship, and that's about it.
Oh, I warned you. I'm sorry.
That's all good. Well, yeah, so you left Mike's.
Yeah.
Ended up where?
Brindle room. With Sid.
Oh, with Sid.
Yeah, Sid the kid.
Right on. White Trash Flash.
Probably the most exhausting year of my life. I love her to bits, and she knows this for the record.
She's high energy.
She's high energy, but I'll say this right now. Sid is the reason I tattoo the way that I do. I learned from her in the year of tattooing the most do's and don'ts, and just watching her tattoo. And she's like, I'd be like, hey, my packing, my grayscale is like, it's falling out when I do this. And she's like, well, it's because you're dumb and you shouldn't be doing that. And she called me out, and I was just so green. And I mean, I still am, but she was so good to work with because she showed me all of these cool techniques. I went from, super traditional learning to Sydney, which is her own element, but it's like, that year was crazy, but I was so thankful for her because she showed me all the little tiny elements and things that just I never would have seen. So it was a really cool one. Yeah. And then I went to Boss. I was that Boss for the last few years.
Yeah.
So.
And then you moved up to Edmonton.
For a boy.
Yeah.
Nice. Edmonton's a cooler city.
You know what? Okay, so now that we're on the internet, I gotta be careful how I say this. Edmonton people are way nicer than Calgary people.
It's true. I lived in Calgary for a while too when I was at Bushido.
Honestly, the more blue collar-esque, little more just chill vibe. I'm born and raised in Calgary. I love my city and I love my friends, but a lot of people, that city is very pompous. You're walking around with your nose in the air, and I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, I know, but I moved to Edmonton. Even Sherwood. Sherwood's like Sherwood's the most Calgary part of this area.
Yeah, Sherwood Park, where we are right now.
100%. But it's still just a different vibe of people. And that's, I actually noticed it right away. Within the first few months of living here, I was like, this is different. Like the people are different. I mean, it's not as pretty, that it's far away from the mountains, but I like Edmonton.
I always loved Calgary. I never wanted to set foot in Edmonton. I'd never heard anyone say a good word about it. It seemed like just the place that everybody was trying to get out of. And I went to visit Shawn, and I think I was there a half a day, and I was like, this is like a little Toronto. This is like what Toronto must have been like in the 50s, just the way it looks, the skyline, everything like that. It's a cool place. People are nice. Lots of cool neighborhoods. It's really multicultural. I thought it was great. And it's got super doggies.
He's gone.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Like the riding scene here is crazy. Like, which is weird because we're so far away from the mountains, like in Calgary. But here it's just, it's a different world. But if you would have told me even 2 years ago that I'd leave Calgary for a guy and move up here, I'd be like, you fucking crazy? Like, no. But it happened. And even just coming up here and getting out of my comfort. I mean, I was in my little Calgary nook, started tattooing there. I knew everybody. I knew everyone in the industry. Like it was my little comfort space. And then I came up here and I really had to be like, oh, other people exist. So
how long were you with Mike before you decided to move up here?
I don't know, like 6 months.
Well, that's good. Whatever.
No,
would I say no to that? No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Smart. Yeah.
I met him at the Hedley show and was like, God damn it.
Yeah. He's growing his mustache back.
Is he?
He's growing it back. I'm so stoked. Mustache ride.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, yeah. And then so you came up here, worked at Shan's for a bit, Fountainhead.
He was like my home base because I knew Shan, right? So it was like I already guested there. It was and I didn't know anything about Edmonton or any of the shops, and it was just and I went there it was a really good experience for me because again, Boss was private rooms, secluded. I was super lonely. I was like, does anyone else work here? Like it was really dead a lot of the time. And then I went to Shan's and it was like 8 artists, all with 8 clients, open concept, walk-in vibe, and it has its own pros and cons, but working with Shawn was awesome. He's such a good dude, and just being around so many different styles of artists, that was really cool for me. I was like, I haven't been around this many people in so long. Like, this is so great. And then I was like, okay, now I'm overstimulated and I need to go.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, he's such a good guy, and we have a great relationship too, that it was easy to just be open and like, hey man, like
I'm out.
Yeah.
So what was your first convention?
Lethbridge.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Lethbridge. Okay, funny story about this one. Lethbridge convention was awesome. I've never been a partier because I actually became sober going into tattooing. And I was there, like, just watching the debauchery that was happening.
Wait, you were sober and worked with Sid Dyer?
She's sober.
She's sober now?
Sydney she's allergic to alcohol. She doesn't drink. Like she's like, that's what I was going to do. She doesn't. Trust me, she used to, but she doesn't.
Sydney, you're just that crazy?
She's just a bad baby.
Awesome.
But Lethbridge Convention, and it was funny because Lucas Ford came up to me. You know, Mike knows everyone. Mike Beast knows everybody. So he's introducing me to everyone, and you know, and I go back to the booth, and I'm taking up, sitting down because he does like 90 tattoos in a day. And it was awesome. But some guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, like, this actually might be a really good, you know, Jesse Young liner. And he's like, hey, like, this might be a really good liner for you. And I'm like, who are you? Just super rude. And I was like, who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm actually down here at the booth down here. It was Lucas fucking Ford. And I was like, oh. So I went up to him after. I'm like, I'm such a dick. And I'm so sorry. I've never met you before. And he's like, it's okay. It's cool. Like, just don't be an asshole to people. And I'm like, cool, never be a dick again to anyone ever. So, I felt real bad.
I get it though. It's just like, oh, a redhead's talking to me.
He was like really corrupt and wanted to show me this machine because he just talked to Mike and he was so excited.
Yeah.
And I was like, who are you? He's great.
Oh, fuck.
Lethbridge is awesome. I mean, like I said, like Mike threw me to the wolves. I've done a lot of conventions, and he kind of just, you know, go for it. Like he didn't hesitate with me because he also knew me on a personal level. He knew what I could handle, and he was like, "Yeah, we're doing it. Go."
Sweet.
So yeah, I had about 90 anxiety attacks.
Right, yeah, I still have them.
Yeah, Deadly. I had one.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like sweating as soon as I walked in, seeing whose names
Steve
are on.
Morgan.
What I'm just like, why am I here?
I saw James text as I came in, and I'm like, "Why did you do this to me?" And he's like, "Welcome." And I'm like, "I vomit."
Oh, amazing!
Oh my gosh! Yeah. How many conventions do you do a year? You think, or try to do?
Well, since COVID, I mean, it's hard. It was hard for me to get back into.
Of course,
I think everyone has said that. But I mean, I'd like to do a couple. I'm going to do. I still think it's going to work. Is the Austin Invitational, just super rad.
When's that?
That one's in September.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
September what? Do you know?
2nd or 3rd, I think. So
I'm going to be there just after that.
Oh, cool. I'm really bad because summertime when like the Okanagan show, like I've had Rob like, "Hey, you're coming this year," and I'm like, that's like my time. Like I don't do conventions in the summer because I prioritize riding. But I try to do like maybe 2 or 3. I don't do tours. I don't do the whole, hey, I'm going to come here. Like, I won't do that. But one I really want to do is the Pile of Bones. Every year, I'm like, I really should have gone to, I really should have gone to that one.
Yeah.
I try to do a couple. I don't overdo it because
it's
just nice to get out and see people and remember that we're all humans and put a name to your face to your Instagram name and remember that you exist. So.
Do you guest spot much, like outside of Edmonton, Calgary? Like, have you done many?
I've done a couple, yeah. I did one in Hawaii, which was super cool.
Oh, sweet.
That one was so cool.
Which shop?
That was at First Point.
First Point, which island?
That was on Oahu.
Oahu.
Yeah. Ugh, move there at any point in time. But yeah, it. I haven't done a lot of guest spots. I mean, I did a couple in Edmonton to figure out, you know, when we were trying to figure out me moving up here, but I haven't really. And like, I actually really like the idea. Anastasia did this, where she guest spotted at all the shops in Edmonton. Like she just hopped around and wanted to, like, because we hadn't done conventions in so long, and she's like, I just want to see people and like be around artists.
Yeah,
because she's got a private studio with Rachel, and she was like hopping around and just guessing and checking things out, and I'm like, even that's rad. Like that's so cool.
Yeah.
So, but I'd like to do more. I need to get out more. I do need to leave my nook sometimes.
Yeah. Before Greg started working here full time, he had guest spotted in my shop.
Yeah.
We used to do walking days on Boxing Day only.
Yeah.
So he'd come and jump in on that. And Tyler, the tattooer, who's now in Glasgow, he would come sometimes and like guest spot out of my shop from Heath's.
Yeah, he was at Flux, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Heath Smith has come and like guest. He came. He's like, "Can I come and hang out at your shop?"
I'm like,
"Come
guest here."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just fun, right? It's like, hey, man, like some people are in private studios and they want some extra stimulation, but not all the time. It's like, yeah, come hang out for a day or two. I don't care.
Yeah, totally.
Like weird animosity. I find like that's actually another thing too from Calgary. Edmonton shops, I find them way more welcoming. It's a lot less cliquey, and I think that that's really cool because I was welcomed with open arms coming here. I had 10 different shops and people just talking to me like, if you need a space, like even if it's not permanent, come hang out for a bit. And it was so welcoming. And I just think that's really cool. And I think that you should encourage that. Like, we all are tattooers. We should all just hang out with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, we did a fundraiser for Australia. Yeah. And we had like 10 people in here. We had Chris Awaniak. We had all regular guys. Chris Awaniak came, joined us. Oh my God, her name is she's from Shades of Grey. I love her fucking tattooing. Littlest Dirtbag on Instagram. She's great. She came. My friend Chris came. Just a bunch of other people. Yeah. It was just super fun. We had some Red Loon peeps come and hang out and stuff. And same, right? That. It's just like, come and hang out.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Come to a paint day. Come do a tattoo day or something. I don't give a shit. It's like, if you're tattooing your own clients, just take your money and leave. Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah, totally.
Hang out. It's have fun.
Yeah, I think 5 Fathoms is having their thing this year again too. This month, where they do the big. They get like 30 or 40 or 50 artists in there every year.
Yeah, a BC Children's Hospital. Yeah.
Yeah. They must be going on like 10 years doing that or 12 years doing that.
Pretty close. Yeah, that Hudson Heart Project one got so big too. It was like. Yeah. I was like, dude, you're going to have to make this a convention soon. Yeah. Like, because there's no room. People are like driving here to tattoo and sitting for hours not being able to do anything. Like, people want to help. You know, like, I might have to do it at like a lodge or something. I'm like, yeah, do it, man.
How cool is that though? Like, something that genuine and just everyone wanting to be part of it.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, totally.
I still have 3 of the Hudson Heart machines, actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many machines you got? Your collection must be massive by now.
No, because I sell a lot of them off and stuff. There's a few that I keep, but like the Hudson Heart machines when Lucas had those heart frames made.
Yeah.
I got I have the one from SAF.
Okay, yeah.
And then Union Tattoo Machine. What's his name? Big Five and the other guy. They did a pair, so I got both of those. So I got 3. But I paid so much for them.
What are your go-tos though?
Oh, my go-tos are Dax.
Yeah.
Just Dax. Yeah. Like those Hudson Heart machines, like they're great and all, but they're heavy. They're not meant to be tattooed with. And I paid so much for them that like I would never be able to resell them or anything like that. So they were more just like raise a bunch of money for, the kids' hospital and stuff. But yeah, that's it. Oh, this is the one. I'm going to grab it. This is the one I was talking about.
I think I gave Derek my Jesse Young that I was talking to you about with Lucas. I gave him that machine a couple weeks ago.
Do you tattoo with coils or with rotary?
I'm a dildo queen. I like my rotary.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Sorta. I mean, you don't need to bring it closer to the screen. It's just really glitchy is all. It's just glitchy.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Feel free to explain.
You carved roach on it. This is a machine that I forget where you got the frame from. This might have been from Trevor Shae. This frame, actually. And then
possibly.
And then you rebuilt it for me and did a bunch of stuff. And then Chris Ivins ended up taking it and putting new coils on it for me.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways, I'm not sure what year that is, but it's carved roach because you used to call me cockroach because I could survive anything.
Nice. I have a couple that I still pull out, but
And then
that's from my apprenticeship.
This is that little tiny one I was talking about.
So cute.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's called the Anvil, and it's JD Manufacturing, a dude from the UK.
It's crazy.
Did you just hold it like this and tattoo?
Yeah, just like that. This thing will fucking line 18 rounds.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Thomas Cooper uses his other one, the MK2. Thomas Cooper uses it with like a 45 mag and a battery pack that he just shoves onto it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The videos are crazy. Anyways. Yeah. So that was a little tattoo machine I was talking about there a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Once in a while I'll pull my clothes out and then I'm like immediately like no. I try. I'll do it once in a while. Like I still have all my Lucas words and everything, and I'll put away. And I'm like, I'm gonna do a coil today. I pull a coil, and I'm like, nope, not happening.
Oh fuck! I did a guest spot at Lady Luck a couple months ago, and I showed up and I forgot the fucking batteries for my machine. So I was dead in the water. Like I was like, I can't fucking do anything. So I'm madly on Amazon trying to find the batteries I can get there. Like that day, my client shows up and I end up tattooing with a some kind of Cuban rotary. Oh, it was fucking brutal. Just with the cords and fucking the weight of everything.
Yeah, so heavy.
Oh, I was lining a leg that day. It was the worst experience. I'm sure for the client too. I'm sure it was just gnarly.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I have no issue saying that. I'm like, no, man. Like, I'm good.
Dave's been telling me to use fucking rotary and pens for years.
It was Dino. It was Dino. The moment I was using coils, and then I saw him using it at the Cheyenne booth like 2 or 3 years ago. Whenever the first Calgary one is after COVID, and he was using it, and I'm like, the fuck? And he's like, yeah, do it. Done. Like when I saw Dino using it, I was like,
yeah,
all right, come back.
I gotta admit, I used one. Kevin from Calgary from Homestead Tattoo. He comes and guest spots here a lot, and he has two because. Why not? Yeah. And he was like, oh, you want to try one? So I was like, sure, I'll try the Cheyenne Sol Nova, whatever. And I lined and colored and shaded like this tiger on this guy's hand. And it was great. I always worried. I've tried other pens. I've tried, like he mailed me the Hawk. Was it the Hawk?
Yeah.
Cheyenne Hawk or whatever. My line work was coming back jacked. Yeah. And I was just like,
that's too bad.
Now. I have the FK one and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super.
Yeah.
Super
and
punchy.
then I used that Sol Nova cordless one, and yeah, my line work healed great. Everything was great. And I'm just like, then I'm like, I don't know if I could spend $1,500 on this as I'm setting up my $1,500 worth of coil machines from Dax because I need 3 or 4 machines for a tattoo.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I love that. I love it when a tattooer complains about something. I'm like, you could make that in a day.
I'd like to try that. I want to try that Good Guy pen. I hear it's really good for lining. But other than that, I used it. Is it good? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Wes really liked his, and then he ended up getting the Flux S, I think it is, and he really likes that. Yeah. So I think what he didn't like about the Good Guy one is that the grips are proprietary. Like you can only use their grips on them or whatever. And so
it's like Cheyenne too. Sometimes you're like, why is my cartridge falling out?
The FK Iron ones fit the Cheyenne, or not FK Irons. What is it? FYT out of Montreal.
FYT. Yeah. I mean, they're all the same.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they're all the same. They come from the same.
It's all the same shit.
2 or 3 factories in a small prefecture of China.
This one looks more like a dick. This one not so much. They're the same.
When you started tattooing with those, did you find you were tattooing with your mouth open more?
Okay, so yes. To be honest, funny that you say that. No, a dick joke involved. Is I, for the longest time, had to train myself to put my tongue in when I was tattooing because that's my focus face. And then COVID happened, where I had a mask on, and I just started doing it again because I had a mask on. So then I started tattooing after taking off my mask, and I'm out there again. So I had to retrain myself to keep my mouth
shut. Man, we were just talking about getting like splashes on the face or in the eye or whatever. Then you do with your tongue out.
Like the close encounters, I'm just like, oh motherfuck. And I'm like, no. It's not good. Not good. I'm a safe person.
Tattooer faces are the best. Fuck, tattooers make the funniest faces. Dustin used to do this thing with his lips. He would do this when he was tattooing. When he's really thinking, he's like,
I like click myself.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's bad. I tense up so hard, and then I like clicks it, and it's just horrible. Yeah, it's not
crazy.
Good. Yeah, whatever. The mask couldn't see it. It was great. Now I can see it again.
All right. So now you've left Shan's, and you're now at Inner Sanctum. Yeah. And kind of a private studio-ish thing.
It's in like the middle of the industrial area, which is rad because it's not downtown.
So like this kind of.
It's exact same thing. Super chill. It is nice because there can be lots of people there, or there's not. So I tattoo a lot of large tattoos. And, male or female, when they come in, a lot of people aren't stoked on being
on display.
Get on display. So a lot of my clients, I think 90% of the women who have come back that I've tattooed are like, they're stoked. They're like, this is a really cool setup. Like, I like it. And it's a good balance. I love it. I mean, the ultimate goal is to have my own shop.
Yeah, of course.
And that'll be the end game. I think that's everybody wants to have their own space, because we've had this conversation before where no matter where you go, it's never going to check off all the lists for you.
No.
And you're always going to have to find something that works or doesn't work, or this rubs you the wrong way. And that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
But eventually it's nice. I mean, I'd like to one day. It'd be
if the people move out upstairs, you can go up there.
I'll just go up there.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
It's like
You put a pole in between.
Yeah.
You can throw garbage up there as you're working. Just
yes. Love it. Well, those like mailing machines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like it. I like Inner Sanctum. It's nice, super chill. London and Dave are really nice. Yeah, lots of dead things everywhere. It's great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm very like self-motivated. Like I'm there all the time, and I always end up doing something where like I'll be at the shop at 8 o'clock in the morning. I know Derek doesn't like it, but I start super early because I'm like, oh, I'm here. I'm up at 5 o'clock. Let's go. And a lot of people are stoked on that. So a lot of the time I'll be done the day. And like they're showing up, and I'm like, it's 2 o'clock. I've been here for 9 hours. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
nice.
I have a guy, Anton, that works for me now, and he's usually here at 8:30 a.m.
Yeah,
like he's already halfway through a fucking half sleeve by the time I come in, and he's wrapping up, while I'm getting started, and he's gone to do his shit. So
I drop the kids off at school, and I'm like, now what?
Yeah,
like 3 hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you tattooed Derek last week at like 9.
Yeah, I mean, I come in at 9. I was like, come in at 9 o'clock for a rib tattoo.
Ooh. You don't have enough chance to eat enough food to get yourself through that.
Savage.
Yeah,
he numbed it. He was fine.
Yeah, and he gets up early because his other job is early.
Yeah, he was fine with it.
Yeah,
most moms are stoked. They're like, I would love to come in at 8 o'clock. Like they get stoked.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But
I want to hear. You brought up numbing cream twice. I want to hear your stories about numbing cream. You said something earlier about issues coming back, stuff healing, people having reactions and stuff. And it's this thing that is so popular right now on the fucking internet. Every client is asking about numbing cream right now.
So I've used it. I mean, I get tattooed by Anthony Thumbing in Calgary. And I get tattooed like the stupidest spots. So for those to even get through a 3-hour tattoo, I do numb for like torso. My clients, it's really dependent even on the space where it is. But I've had people, so this last one that I posted, because I actually saw it healed on another tattooer's post. Like, they had their nice fresh tattoo, and then there's mine. Hair ass, chunks missing. And we already knew what happened. So what was crazy is last year, for about a month, I was tattooing everybody, including Mike. This happened to Mike too. And I was using Cosmic Numbing. It's a spray from the States. It's like, what's that cane stuff? Not Armor Cane, the other stuff.
Lidocaine.
Benzocaine?
Anyway, yeah, so it's like whatever cane fucking thing. Anyway.
Cocaine.
So cocaine. But there's all these crazy sprays. Anyway, this one spray, and I wasn't knowing till after, so I'm doing the tattoo, spraying it with this green stuff, cleaning it up, putting second skin on top, and I was using a multiple different second skins. It wasn't one specific one. My clients were ending up in the hospital. The most horrid infections, and I'm talking concave tattoos, green, disgusting. It was horrible. So I was getting messages consistently for about a month, including Mike's. I put on the second skin. I remember using that spray. 2 days in, the next day, it was melted. It was melted to him. He was ripping it off, and it was just disgusting. So I had like a spreadsheet because I was like, I quit. I'm done. Like, what am I doing wrong? I don't understand. So I had a spreadsheet, had all these people who contacted me. I wrote down everything I used. I was really confused. And then I finally found the common denominator, and it was using this goddamn spray and second skin. Something was happening with the spray, because when you think about it, you clean it, it's all nice. You have still sprayed this spray into an open wound, regardless of how well you clean it. You're putting second skin onto it and then letting it fester for a week. Yeah. So whatever was happening with that chemical reaction, and I'm talking like my one client was in the hospital, like her leg was like inside. It was disgusting. So, and that one that I posted openly was on my, was a butt tattoo, and she was super good about it. She was more than okay with me posting it, but like chunks, not, hey, light saturation, you kind of chewed up that person, pure white chunks, meaning everything was removed. So moving forward, then I said no more second skin, thinking that was the problem. I'm like, no more second skin, no. And then I was still using that spray, and then I stopped. It happened again as soon as I used both. I'm like, that's it. So I told Shannon, he pulled it, and it was like, this stuff is what's doing it. But with numbing, I mean, there's a couple products that we use that are okay. And I mean, I think the creams I find better than the sprays. I find the sprays turn it into ground beef.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I've tried the solution that just came out, actually. I used that on myself to try it, and Anne used it on me, and it was mint. And I used second skin, and there was no issues. But I think we're playing with fire every time.
100%.
You're literally beating the shit out of your skin, having some crazy cream sitting inside you, and then spraying, even Bactine, too much Bactine.
I don't use Bactine at all.
No, me neither.
If you decide you want to use it, you're getting alcohol at the end. If you want to use spray, I'm cleaning the shit out of your tattoo if you want to use second skin. If you want to use all these elements and then expect a perfect heal, then it has to be cleaned that way. Yeah. And I know some people who do that. They've always done that. They're like, well, you don't do that? I'm like, well, it's horrible. So I don't go just spray. Aunt does it on me. I mean, rubbing alcohol is just the norm. But I think they're taking 7 different elements and then putting it into the heel and then expecting it to heal good. And on top of using people's skin types, where it's tattooed, everyone using different types of pigments. Like you already have so many different elements that using numbing cream, it's like kind of like at your own risk type of thing.
Yeah.
Because it feels, and I mean, I felt terrible. Anyone who it happened to, I was like, come in, I will redo this entire piece. Let me make it right. And that's when I was really transparent about it. Because I'm like, that is not on my, actually it kind of pissed me off. There's a little, some other troll on the internet wrote like, well, it's good to see how our tattoos actually heal. And that set me off. I was like, go fuck yourself, first of all, because this is an anomaly. This isn't normal. And I think we're scared to talk about really bad heals and what happened. And it's like, oh, it's the client's fault. Well, no, it could be the artist. No, it could be the client. It's like, or we could just talk about do's and don'ts and trying to remove that. Because numbing cream it works. Don't get me wrong. I use it. I've used it on my stomach. There's only certain ways I could get through things, but I also let my tattoos bleed out for 24 hours and then clean it again and then put it on. Like I do that process.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm down with the second skin.
Yeah.
I've had mixed results with numbing cream. I don't use the second skin. I don't believe in it at all. But I started testing different numbing creams when I was getting my back tattooed by the same artist. Mm-hmm. And when I look at it now, I can tell the patches where I used numbing cream and where I didn't. They're all solid black panels. And the stuff with the numbing cream has a lot of holidays and needs to be reworked. The stuff without, solid black. And the guy knows how to put in.
It like
the skin changes,
it changes into almost like it's like ground beef, like
chicken skin.
Yeah. So
depending on the stuff you use, right? That's why I like Armor Cane. Yeah. Armor Cane will swell the skin or make the skin even like tighter. So I don't like using Armor Cane when I have to line on somebody.
That was a coin off.
But for all my coloring and stuff, I've never had a problem with the healing and stuff like that. So I like to stick with that one. I don't use Bactine. I never have. I just
honestly, I use on myself because I'm a guinea pig. I'm a bubble child. I react to everything, so I'll do it on myself. I mean, I use Shield from Northern. That's the one. I've tried Hybifix. The Good Guys one is really good too. But I use the Shield from Northern, and it's mint. I've never, that's the one that I've found is most consistent, and it's never had an issue. But again, that thing could be great. And a great product, but if you're gonna fucking spray 1,000 different things into the tattoo, and then use this product, it's not the product's problem; it's the stuff that you're putting to react to it. So, but numbing stuff, man, numbing is it's subjective. It's so crazy.
100%.
It's so I don't know how I feel about it because I use it. So I'm like,
I've got clients too. They go out and buy it, and then they put it on themselves, and they don't listen to any advice from me. And they come in and they've got like half their back covered in the stuff, about a quarter-inch thick, and it's like. You're going to have a fucking heart attack if you're not careful.
I got lidocaine poisoning. I was vomiting on the side of the road. Horrible.
It can kill you. It can kill you.
I think Jessica Wright went through that. She did that too. I remember her talking about that too much of it is dangerous. It's playing with fire. Yeah. Using numbing cream is at your own risk. And
the guys from Armor King were very specific on how much to use. So I ignored that.
had a hot shower, put it on so it really absorb well.
And I put it on this kid's arm because I'm like, well, I'm lining his whole sleeve, right? Cover him up. I'm like, come back in like 2 hours. He came back 20 minutes later. He's like, I don't feel right. I'm like, you don't look right. Lay down.
Oh, fuck.
Lay down, alcohol, and just start fucking scrubbing his. I was like, that's it. I'm never using more than like 2 hands worth. What I was told originally.
Yeah.
And then you have Derek coming in. I'm doing his back, and he's like, I don't know. I didn't know what to put on, and he's just got it like whole fucking panel done, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
I had one girl put so much on her leg that like what would normally like take me maybe 2 hours to outline took me like 5 because I had to crank my machine and just like go so slow because her skin was armor, literally. Like
brutal.
It's like it's not good to let your clients put that shit on. That's why I don't like the second skin either, because a lot of guys are like, here, take this armor, take this second skin home with you and then put it back on yourself. It's like, dude, we can't even trust our clients to not soak in a fucking bathtub afterwards. You're giving them second skin to put on themselves?
I beg them. I'm like, if you are local, like, I'm like, I will buy you a coffee. I don't care. Please come back.
Come back and do it, yeah.
And so most people, if they're local, even if they travel, because most of them are spending the night.
Yeah.
Because I have people who come international all the time, and I beg them, because a lot of them love it, and that's cool. But I say, please come back tomorrow. I'm not going to wrap you with second skin today. Come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I find that those in a controlled environment where I know that I'm doing it correctly.
For sure.
Mint.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. The only issue I have with that is the potential for it going septic. I mean, you're sealing in a wound, right? Like if anything gets in there and we're not healthcare practitioners. A client certainly isn't a healthcare practitioner. Some people are telling people to leave that shit on for 4 or 5 days. It could get fucking gross fast.
Yeah.
I just keep doing what we've been doing.
We're supposed to use saran wrap for that reason.
Yeah, totally right.
The second skin's totally okay.
Yeah.
I'm working because I do both. I do both things.
Yeah.
I use second skin. I have perfect heels, and then I have horrendous heels. Same thing with dry healing. I dry heal my legs, anything on my legs. I'm like, that's fucking to the wind. Like, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Mint heels. Perfect heels.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, people who dry heel and they just sit there and they're just like, I don't understand why the skin is gone. You just fucking cut the whole thing out.
Fucking scab collectors.
Yeah. Everyone is different. Every client is situation.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I
don't know. Yeah. There's so many different ways to do it. And to everybody, there's always going to be a wrong one, right?
Well, that's just totally. You're never going to make anybody happy or do everything the right way. So
the smallest tattoo I have on my body got grossly infected, and I had to take antibiotics for 2 weeks. Like, figure that out.
A crazy story. Quickly, it's pretty gross, but
you have lots of time.
I was getting tattooed by aunt, and I mean, I can say for a long time, I'm pretty good, and he's tattooing like groin, hip, gross area. And we're about an hour and a half in, and he's like, man, your skin is fucked. And there wasn't anything on it. He's like, I don't understand. Like, it's like rippled. And I'm like, okay, like, this is really weird. It's painful. Like, way more painful than it should be. And I sit for hours on my torso. I'm driving home from Calgary, and I'm screaming. Like, I'm screaming on the phone to Mike, and he's like, what is your deal? Like, you do this all the time. This is a normal thing for you. And I pulled over. I'm puking. I'm crying. And I mean, to the point where I felt like I couldn't drive anymore. Not being dramatic. It was horrible. So I get home and I'm like, something really doesn't feel right. Like, I'm feeling weirdness over here now. I'm like, there's a patch thing here. I don't understand. I went into the doctor's. He was tattooing shingles.
Oh, fuck.
Because I was getting tattooed every 3 weeks to the point where my immune system was shot. I got shingles. The shingles weren't on where he tattooed, but the nerve patch where it comes up. Like, I had to so the doctor was like, how are you walking? I don't understand. And I'm like, cool, because I'm tough as fuck. Okay. But I got the medication. I'm allergic to the medication. So I have full body hives, a healing tattoo in the most horrible area, and on medication. And for like a week and a half, and he's like, well, if you take a nice oat milk bath. I'm like, bitch, I have a healing fucking tattoo. I'm not taking an oat milk bath. Like, so I was on medication, healing shingles, and a tattoo.
Oh my God.
And it still healed mint, by the way. My tattoo feels perfect.
Nice job, Anne.
He is amazing.
Yeah, his tattooing is fucking sweet.
He's honestly like, and the fact that my shit's a cover up, like I can't even fathom it when I look at it. I'm like, how was there I had a full chest and stomach piece, and he blasted over the entire thing. Not blackout, like a piece, like a beautiful piece.
Sweet.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Crazy.
And I have a permanent pearl necklace. You like that?
And every day Mike's like, that should have been me that gave you that.
I know. If I don't own it, it'll kill me inside. So I have to own it. I have to own the fucking thing.
Oh, did you get it when you started using the pens?
What? Yeah.
Just tattooing and like, oh.
Prematurely, too.
That rarely happens.
No, I heard.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway.
All right. So what conventions do you have coming up?
I'm doing the Edmonton one.
Okay.
I was going to Saskatoon, but they're like back to back. They're like Saskatoon is next weekend, and I just no, I can't. I believe I'm going to do Winnipeg. I wasn't going to, but I think I might actually do that one.
Which one?
Well, I do both, which is really hilarious because everyone's like, if you do one, you can't do the other. I'm like, watch me. I do it every year. I do both every year. This will be the one, I think it's Riches is the one in August.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one, yeah. But I haven't even, I'm really bad because like when they do the last call thing, I'm like, ooh, pick me. Like, I'm horrible. Yeah. So I do both. I mean, I never knew that, whatever drama and political shits in between, I just do them. I'm like, it's a convention, man.
Yeah.
I just go.
Yeah.
I'm like,
if you're not a very great tattooer that would draw in stuff, you would then get banned from if you know what I mean? But it's like, if you're really good,
they're not going to. I mean, even Deadly, I cannot wait for next year. Like, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
That was a wicked convention. Yeah,
because he's doing them bi-yearly, right? Yeah.
And I mean, I always pre-book, so I think the Deadly was cool, but it was definitely a learning experience, I think, for everybody on what to expect on that type of show. But, I was pre-booked. I was there. I was just stoked to see people. I wasn't there to make money or to, bust out 30 tattoos.
For the first time ever, I pre-booked.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, you're walking around, there's dudes from, Japan, and you're like, I would literally stop tattooing right now to get tattooed by you. Like, this is insane that you're not tattooing. Yeah. But it's because that was that different style of, like, a gallery. Like, it was a different vibe. And to be honest, I'm perfectly okay with that. Yeah. I loved it. Absolutely loved the Deadly show.
That's how Pile of Bones was. That's how Saskatoon was when it was a little, smaller and stuff.
I liked the chill vibe. There was a big gallery of original paintings, and it was just so chill, and you're walking down the aisle and all these insane artists. It was just that was surreal to be a part of. And when James Tex asks you to come to a show, you do not say no.
Yeah, of course.
You don't say no.
Yeah, it was very cool. I literally moved back from BC, from Vancouver, essentially. I literally moved back 4 days before, so I moved everything back here, unpacked, and then boom, was right back down to Calgary.
Mike
and
was
tattooing,
the biggest hit that show. No one even cared about me. Shade Ford, Freedom Fab. I'm like, what the fuck?
How come he didn't do karaoke?
No. Also, side note, bad idea. Don't do it again. Oh, the karaoke was cringe for me. I was like, minus this one chick that went up.
Oh, that first girl.
I'm like, so did she know this was happening, or was she just incredible?
She was a professional singer, apparently, before apprenticeship. Yeah, so we're talking about how we talked about with Allie last week. All the apprentices had to do it. The first girl that went up, I'm tattooing it, and all of a sudden I hear this voice, and I got goosebumps and a boner. It was just like, what is happening? Just the most beautiful voice. And then, then my guy goes up and I just crawl up inside myself as he sings achy breaky heart, all super it was awesome.
All the introverts that are now apprentices got to do that, and I was like, this is hilarious.
Yeah,
that's good.
Sean Cushney though and Shane Ford, how many times did they go up? Sean Cushney and Shane Ford just Biggie Smalls, everything else, just going up and having like the best time. Miles, of course, up there in his outfits.
Which is really funny because Shane Ford, when it comes to like doing a seminar, can't talk because he's so quiet. But you put him on, well, he's quiet. But like, you put him on a karaoke machine, he's like, who are you?
Yeah.
He's amazing.
It was awesome. Yeah. It was so good. It was a great weekend. Yeah. It'll be good next time.
The best weekend. That was so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave missed it.
Yeah. Whatever.
FOMO.
I had FOMO that weekend. I didn't have FOMO leading up to it.
No.
Yeah.
No. I haven't done any conventions in probably like the last 10 years, and I'm doing 4 this year. Yeah.
Ooh, that's exciting. Are you doing Edmonton?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're doing the podcast show. I'm not going to tattoo.
We're just podcasting. Yeah. And then, Edmonton, and then I'm going to go to Kelowna at the end of July, I think that one is.
Something like that.
And then we're doing that one.
Yeah.
And then he's doing Vancouver. He's trying to convince me to go to the Vancouver one.
Yeah.
I haven't decided yet. I'm actually in Vancouver next week, so I don't know if I want to be there twice.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It's a lot of Vancouver.
It's a lot of Vancouver.
Fucking that really ups the chances of getting fucking hepatitis just walking around that fucking city.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, fuck that. Yeah. We'll just go to like the best Japanese places and just eat ourselves silly.
Yeah, true.
That sounds so good.
Yeah. Where's your first bike trip going to be this year?
We want to do Texas, so we're going to try Texas, but we're going to do the West Coast. So we're going to go like Highway 101.
Yeah,
I think so. We're going to go down and up. If all works out, I don't know. I mean, we have the kiddos and we do lots of camping, but I just can't fucking wait to get on that bike. Like, it's just like twitching. All I want is ride my motorcycle. People ask, they're like, do you like more than tattooing? I'm like, I don't know. They're two very different things, but I fucking love riding my bike.
Yeah.
Like, and like Mike and I go, like, we don't just do little tiny things. Like,
yeah, you guys go on trips.
Yeah, we go like across like into the States for, 10, 40 days at a time, and it's so great. But I think we're going to do states. We love state rides. And like my parents are in Creston, so we do that loop like Nikas, Caslow, New Denver rip all the time. But yeah, going to the States is so fun. It's just such a different world. Like Montana, like Missoula is my favorite place in the world. I absolutely love Missoula. And I can't explain why. I'm obsessed with being there. It's so cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never wanted to go to Montana. And then I watched that TV show Yellowstone, and I'm like, I want to live in Montana.
I just want to open ferry and ride my motorcycle. Why is that so much to ask? Like, I
don't
understand. I just want to be able to have my handgun and ride around on a motorcycle. That's reasonable.
Yeah. I know. Now it's getting nicer. We got to hit the range.
I know.
Some outdoor shooting.
Shoot my Beretta.
Yeah.
This is definitely an Alberta podcast.
You know what? I knew nothing about firearms until I met Mike. Like, I was very closed-minded because, mine was never around it. And then I met Mike, and he said, he's like, we're going to have handguns and lots of guns in the house. Like, you need to have education. And I did the course, and I became obsessed with it. And, like, the knowledge about it is crazy. But even his kids have more knowledge than most adults about, like, firearms. Like, he's such a stickler for, like, safety and understanding. But I want to, like, ride my motorcycle to the range and pew pew. That's not a lot to ask. I think that's a reasonable request.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need a sidecar. You can load all the guns in there.
Pugs and rifles.
Yeah.
Reasonable.
Yeah. Just a little holster on your pugs.
Well, I almost bought a Ural. Those Urals.
Oh, yeah.
They have reverse and shit. Like, they come with the
they're like all-wheel drive.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to get that for my pugs.
Yeah.
And make a little crate for them.
You ever see the dude that rides in the wintertime?
No.
There's a guy that rides year-round on his Ural in Edmonton, and you can tell he's wearing, like, the heated, jumpsuit that's plugged in, and, you see him, like, backing up and pulling out places. And
I wear a heated jumpsuit in summer. Because, like, you're on the highway at 6 o'clock in the morning in July, and it's still, like, 5 degrees, and it's fucking cold.
Yeah.
So.
Unreal.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't even take on big pieces in summer because of that. Like, there's no point in me starting something right now.
Yeah.
So, but everyone knows, like, I'm getting my emails now. I only have to make a post. Like, clients know, they're like, it's coming up to May and June.
Yeah.
Get Shae while you can.
Well, yeah. And, clients why do they want to start a big piece in the summer too? Yeah. It's like, you guys don't want to go outside. You guys don't want to be in water. You guys don't want to You know, like, yeah, save
they
the big
want
stuff.
it, but then they still do it. And don't have your tattooer on Instagram if you're gonna fuck with your shit too much.
No shit.
You see it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I had a guy when I was at Classic Tattoo. He literally texted me a picture an hour later of him with his arm resting on a bar table
No.
with a pint and the wrap taken off of it. And he took a picture and he's like, yeah, man, looks rad, enjoying the sun and patio. And I'm like,
Disgusting.
that fucking, like, he washed it in the bathroom at the fucking bar.
Gross. Fucking gross.
No.
Savage.
Cool,
Our
bro.
fault.
Yeah, and then 2 days later, picture on a boat in Sylvan Lake. Like, oh, cool.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't look really solid, you know. Maybe you could touch this up. Go fuck yourself.
It faded. I call them out though. I'll call them out. I'm like, I saw it. Like, no, touch-ups are not free.
Yeah.
No. But it's true. Like summertime, I'm the same way. Like I actually like anyone who tattoos me. Like actually, I was supposed to be starting a piece with Shane Ford soon, but it comes to like April or after May, I'm like I'm cut off until August because there's no point. So
yeah,
absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Got any more questions there, Hedls?
I don't even think we talked about anything we should have.
What do you want to talk about?
We actually
What
did
should we have talked about?
I think no. Like I meant like I feel bad because I went on tangents. Like but
that's all this shit is. What do you want to talk about? Kanye now? Should he get his Adidas deal back?
I should have worn my Kanye for President shirt. Should have worn it. Yeah. No, it would have been bad. I'm just kidding. Nobody canceled
it's okay.
Yeah. Well, I had a lot of people when I did that post talking about, you know, what things people wanted to talk about, and a lot of it was getting into tattooing. How do I get into it? Like it's such a thirsty industry. Like everybody wants to do it. So that I'm glad we talked about that because that was huge. I think I got like 20 messages giving like, how did you start? And you know,
get tattooed.
Well, get tattooed and hang out around. Like
I'm not gonna just give an apprenticeship to somebody who's never given my shop a fucking penny.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Mike tattooed me for 10 years.
Yeah.
Before.
Like it's not. This isn't a trade school. Like, and it's. Trade schools aren't even free either. So it's like, I'm not going to go and show up at a welding class and be like, just show me.
Did you like my post about that tattoo school in Edmonton?
Yes, I did. Yeah, that fucking Revolution tattoo or whatever that was down the street from Mike Pryor's. You know that place?
Yeah.
They moved to Edmonton. They moved their school to fucking Edmonton.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, you know, just
because
because
kid, you can go give them money and you can learn nothing and call yourself a tattooer. You could literally just buy shit off Amazon, start tattooing, and call yourself a fucking tattooer. Just don't.
But you get $500 of pro tattoo stuff.
Pro tattoo stuff?
No way.
What? Pro.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh my God.
I think just because you want to be a fucking tattooer doesn't mean you get to be a tattooer. It doesn't work that way. Like, I think people are being raised with this idea.
Well,
exactly, right?
I hope it stays that way. Like, I honestly am like...
I say that, but what I'm really trying to tell people is that you need to nurture a relationship with someone. You know, you need to put in the fucking effort and like win somebody over so they like you enough to fucking want to give you that gift of tattooing.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
There's definitely some people that'll just take you on to make money off of you. Some people don't give a shit, right? It's like, find somebody that you can build a relationship with, and you know, like Dave just celebrated 20 years last week.
Wow.
And look, he still likes me.
Yeah.
Well,
because I gave him something.
Well, I get asked probably. I get a message probably every week. I'll get 2 or 3 DMs. And I have a copy and paste to respond. DMs of people asking me to apprentice. Number 1, fuck no. I'm the greenest human ever still. And 2, it's like I copy and paste this thing where it's like, get off your ass, have a physical portfolio, walk to the fucking shop. Do not contact anybody over social media or email, even if you want to be taken remotely seriously.
Yeah.
And I say that to him. I said, you need to not do this. This is going to completely ruin your chances. There's nothing genuine about this. And you don't even know me.
Yeah.
Like that's
and they're copy and pasting their request to 9 other shops, right? So they're not genuine. Like
fuck every shop.
You know,
every every wannabe apprentice that's ever come into my shop and put in the effort to talk to me in person, I've given them homework, bring in 3 completed drawings. I've never had anyone come back. 3 completed fucking drawings. No one's ever come back.
Oh, we should have asked Gagne. Yeah. So Grizzly Inks that works for Gagne now. She was already tattooing for a while.
So good.
Yeah, great.
So good.
But Ryan gave her the drawing test that he gives other people, and nobody else has ever come through. Draw me 50 strawberries. But they have to be different, right? I think it's 50. But anyways, she did way more than 50. She did a fucking book, and he was sending me pictures of them, and I was like, dude, like, these are like amazing ideas. They're on paper, not on the iPad, and they're all fucking different. Like, and there was just things where I was just like, that one's so amazing. Like, you know, like an envelope, but the stamp was a strawberry, and then like like just strawberry milk cartons, like just so many different things, like a joint with strawberry prints on it, like so many things. And he's like, yeah, dude, like she came back with like 3 times the amount that I asked her, and he's like, and she did it in like a couple of days.
Yeah,
and I'm
she's
like,
showing that she's driven.
And now she's going to make a shit ton of money because every single one of those designs was fucking tattooable. Like, amazing.
But it's like the notion of having to put in the work, and it's like nowadays people can't put 2 and 2 together. They're like, wait, I have to actually do something to get what I want. And I mean, that's easy for me to say because I was asked, but you still have to put in the fucking work to get to that point.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think people are so caught up with the idea of being a tattooer that they forget that there's a whole fucking shit ton of work that goes into just getting that title. And then once you get it, there's like 10 times as much work that goes into actually becoming good at it. It's not just a show up and
try to be nice.
I've even through emails and stuff, I've definitely said a lot of the times, like, hey man, my shop is open concept, come meet the guys, draw, there's a huge area to draw, like just come and draw, just come and hang out. Nobody ever comes and hangs out because they want to just be a tattooer.
Fuck you. Being a barista takes fucking more effort. Like, you want to be a barista, you don't just show up and fucking make coffee. Like, why the fuck would tattooing be any easier? Like,
because the internet makes it look super easy.
Right?
It makes it look like, look at me, I did my time for 6 months and now I'm tattooing.
Ink master. Let me just whip up this drawing for you in 5 seconds.
My 3-month apprenticeships. Oh my God.
Well, I tell people that's what, like, pretty much like that's, I mean, different scenario, different situation, but like I said, mine was not a traditional one, and I actually got a lot of flack from some of the older guys in Calgary when I left who didn't understand why I left and the reasons why and how I, technically outgrew that situation, and they're all coming back to me now and being like, okay. Like, I'm like, not that I needed your validation for what I did, but it is nice to, like, I wasn't just being a dick and being selfish. Like, it's like, I really wanted to push myself and I knew I've capped it and it was time for me to do something else.
So,
but most of the time I've come back and been like, okay, like, I get it now. I'm like, well, thank you. Also, you're mean, but thank you.
I saw it once I first started seeing your work on Instagram, and I knew where you worked and stuff. And I love Mike. I worked with Mike for years. One of my favorite tattoos is by Mike.
Oh, yeah.
And but I knew, like, that's, you're in a street shop environment. You're working with tattooers, not like artists and stuff. And I was like, she's gonna outgrow that spot so quickly, and then it happened.
But he's such a kind human that he was like it's my piece. Like, he's the person, my whole be fucking nice thing that I do. I'm always like being a really kind human. I learned that from him. As much as he taught me to play tattoo, he's if don't be a dick, and like he literally means it. Like, his one saying he always said to me was, keep your your stick on the ice and your head up. Like, don't worry about other people's shit. Worry about your shit. Worrying about being nice, and the clients will come. And like that mantra and that lifestyle, just being a good human. It blows
I love
out
working with Mike.
anything out the water.
I love working with Mike, and he used to pick me up every day and drive me to work when he didn't have to, but that was our extra time together. We would get to the shop earlier usually than anybody else and do our day. He worked right across from me. We had so many inside jokes and we had our shit and our vibe. And then it was like warm weather time and he was like, want to ride bikes to work together? I'm like, okay. So he would ride his bike to my place and then we'd ride together. Yeah, I love working with Mike so much. He's a genuine fucking dude.
He wouldn't let me mop. He wouldn't let me mop the shop. He came in
dude, what the fuck?
Were you really bad at mopping? Like,
believe it or not, actually.
How useless were you at mopping?
He came in and I was one-handing it. I was just like, and like he had this thing when he worked at Harvey's when he was younger, where his moments in the mornings before the day started, his favorite thing to do was mop. He loved coming in, he'd turn on the music and he'd mop, and that was his thing. And I'm like, well, I'm the apprentice. I should be doing this with the toothbrush. Like, this is my job. And then he came in one day and I was just kind of like zoning out and one-handing it, and he went off. He's like, if you're not going to fucking mop straight, you're not. And he took it. And he took my right away to mop. So I felt like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Dumb little girl, you're going to make a shitty wife.
Yeah. Didn't make a shitty wife. Sorry to my ex-husband. But...
Oh, shit. I didn't know you were married.
Yeah, I was married for a couple years. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. All right.
Don't marry potatoes. It's fine. I really shouldn't be on this podcast.
Oh. Ooh. Love it.
Oh, fucking great.
It's so bad.
All right. So apprentices, put time in, cultivate a relationship. Mm-hmm. Don't just ask for shit you don't deserve.
And draw every day.
Yeah, draw every day.
Every fucking day.
Draw more than the person you're going to try and learn from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prove that you deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a huge thing.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of great tattooers out there. A lot of great new young tattooers out there. You have a lot of competition.
Oh, yeah.
To get into tattooing nowadays. Yeah. It was very different when Dave and I started. It's like all these people that are asking, it's like, man, we're tattooing people that are already good at drawing flash because they're trying to draw it all the time. It's like they're going to get the apprenticeship first.
But that's the thing. If anything, it's like even though it is so oversaturated and there's a tattoo in every fucking building, you also have to work harder to even, you always feel like you're not, I don't know what the word is, like existing. You're like, I gotta feel like I'm, people know who I am and I gotta like stand out. Like one of the biggest compliments in the world is if someone can tell it's my tattoo. If someone sees my tattoo and they're like, that's a Shae Motz tattoo, like my heart bursts. I'm like, you have to stand out and you have to push yourself because everyone can learn to tattoo. Well, not everyone, but most people can learn, but it's standing out and doing something and being genuine and actually giving a fuck about it. And that shows, I think, more than
you should like blow people away one day and use blue.
I did a dragonfly.
I saw that. The dragonfly was blue. Yeah.
Dragonfly. It was like a mini cap of blue.
Yeah.
I'm looking right now.
Every time I do a blue tattoo, Morgan, who I worked with at Fountain's, like, did you use blue? And I'm like, girl, I am versatile.
Oh, shit. Look at that. Yeah.
A little bit of blue. Aren't you proud?
Look how clean that is.
I'm always proud of myself when I use non-red because I'm like, see, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it.
Can I ask you a trade secret?
Yeah.
What reds are you using?
Oh, I use solid red.
Solid? Fuck, I can't use that shit at all.
Yeah, solid infusion. Honestly, so with solid, there's only two reds, like just plain solid red and the super red. But when it comes to the darker tones, I don't use solid because I actually don't like them. They feel kind of more pinky. And then you kind of definitely see the difference between the two when you see them healed. But I love fusion too. Fusion reds. And I use another, I can't remember what tattooer came out with it. It's a trad line, but it's from World Famous.
Okay.
Really great. But my main red, and everyone always asks me, is solid red. And I also want to tell people too, when they see my photos, I am using a polarized polarized light. I'm using a CPL
to get rid of all the
I'm taking out
glare
the glare
stuff. Yeah.
And when you take out the glare, it makes the red look a lot more punchy than it does in like my clients know what their tattoos look like, but again, red doesn't glow naturally. And sometimes when you overdo it, so I'm going to use the podcast to say this right now, stop over polarizing your shit because it doesn't look normal. And my stuff, I've found a really nice balance, especially with red tones, where you're like, okay, and the black is no longer a glare, done.
Yeah.
But people overdo it to the point where it looks like a fucking sticker, and it's like, okay, well, you know your client knows what it looks like. Like it's called false advertising. You got
100%.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So I always try to I posted a monarch from a couple years ago, like right on the throat, and Inked magazine shared it. So it got like 3 million views. And I think half of those comments were people telling me I photoshopped it. They're like, this is fucking Photoshop. There's no fucking way. So I had to post a video to show them. I'm like, I don't know what it's because it makes it look so bright, and I get it, but I had to defend myself. I'm like, yo, you guys, here's a video. I don't know what else to tell you. But when you use that and you use a CPO filter, that whole polarized film setup, it's great. It takes the glare off. You have to find a balance.
Yes.
Or else it looks so oversaturated.
Well, yeah, like that Instagram account. I don't know if it's active anymore. Tattoo Truth Fairy. Have you ever seen that?
I love that.
That is such a good one. Tattoo Truth Fairy. And seeing some of them where it's not even using polarizing, but where they've overlaid their reference photo with the tattoo.
Oh, fuck.
Also. It's like, what?
Yeah. But that's why you have to be transparent on the internet. If you're going to utilize the internet and use it to get clients and use it to be, relevant and all that shit, you also have to be transparent. So I always try to show healed photos and client photos and videos. Just be like, guys, what you see isn't always what you get. So you need to be open about that. So with the reds thing,
totally.
I'm like, solid red. It's I fucking love that incline. It's great. But you always have to make sure it does heal pinky, and you got to, compensate for that. So.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Cool. Top 5 tattooers.
No.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mandatory. Otherwise, you just leave this running.
Okay.
And you're not allowed to just blow smoke up your friend's ass. So, no Sid Dyer, no Shane Ford because you're getting tattooed by him soon.
But he is one of my favorite artists. He is one of my favorite.
You can pick whoever you want.
Anthony Fleming. But we're talking about Anthony, and Anthony's a great tattooer. So everybody, go check out Anthony Fleming's work on Instagram.
So good.
He's super amazing. But
oh, this is not fair.
But there's 5 tattooers that we haven't mentioned that you would put in your, because everybody has more than actually 5.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. So you can't regurgitate.
I need to go through my list of people. I don't even names. I'm horrible with. I have no fucking idea. Tom Strom. Tom Strom.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
Totally.
He was an illustrative painter too beforehand. Amazing. Fuck, I suck at names. This is horrible. I'm gonna say Ant again because fuck you. Because he's so good. Okay, the reason why he has the rights to 90% of my body. So, I really don't like this game.
That's the point.
Well, he's great too.
Oh yes,
and he's great.
Yeah.
And again, more of a trad artist, but she's been around a long time too. So I actually respect her a lot because of that. She's been tattooing obviously in Europe, which is just they're 10 years ahead of us. Oh fuck, I don't like this at all. On the spot sucks for me. I don't know. There's so many people I'm trying to think of. I'd have to literally go through my saved photos of all the people. I suck at this. I'm horrible. I always wanted to say everyone I know because I'm obsessed with my friends. I think they're so good. Anastasia Powell's one of my favorite tattooers, and she's amazing. But it's funny.
Yeah, Edmonton local. Check her out.
Again, someone very similar to my work because she's illustrative and color, and that stuff really just blows me away. Obviously, the king, Steve Moore, but I don't know. I look at David Goon. Is it Goon? Shit. Don't get mad at me, world. I don't know his name. David Goon. He's a Japanese tattooer. He's can I show you him?
Yeah.
Look him up. So good. But I always look at more of but I find that all of my favorite artists are always in Europe. More of that newer traditional, illustrative, those guys. I never remember fucking names.
Oh, I was going to say, is he from Australia?
Look at him, though.
So much good tattooing coming out of Australia. Yeah.
Tim
David Lagoon on Instagram, people. Whoa, yeah.
Yes, insane.
I know you won't be able to see that, Dave, but...
Yeah.
I got a phone.
And then there's another one.
Whoa, what the fuck?
I know.
Yeah, people, go check out David Lagoon on
that's it, okay.
On fucking Instagram.
Tim Taveria, who's also in Australia. Absolutely. I have to do this. I have to look up all, because I have them saved on my phone, but Tim DeVary is just like, he's insane. But again, you know, even Matt Cruzon, like those types of guys from Australia, like I can't wrap my head around what they do, but huge guys. And like locally, I mean, I can name off everyone I'm obsessed with. Of course. Locally. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. You know, like it just, I actually, one of my, she owns Darling, Helena, who owns Darling Tattoos. I met someone when I can't remember her name. I met another girl when I was there, and I have yet to find who she was, but she was working there. And I don't know who she was, and I went in to get tattooed by
you know, Helena. You could ask Helena, right?
I could, but I'm like, I kind of want to put out like a love letter.
Oh, there you go.
4 years ago in Halifax, you guessed it, at Darling Tattoos. I don't know who you are, but she was amazing.
And she wants to know you.
But no, honestly, it's really hard for me to like pinpoint my favorite artists. But like, I look at people who I've looked up to, like, you know, Heather McLean, and like just people who even in the Calgary area, like, of course, I've looked up to, like, because of ACAD and like the world, and like it's so funny in Calgary, it's like 90% neo-traditional illustrative artists. You come here and there's like 4. So it's such a different world. So I was surrounded by some insane artists down there too, where I'm just like, I came up here and you know, Brent Smith, who owns Fox Runner, and Jessica Wright, like those guys are just, I'm like, I just bow down. They're just a different world.
I know. I remember I tried to convince Jordan Ripstra at Classic Tattoo years ago. I was like, dude, you should move to Edmonton, because there's like no illustrative tattooers here. Like there's a couple and they do great, but it's not a saturated market for that style here. And it's like, you could definitely like do well. Because she was talking about moving to Calgary. And I was like, dude, why are you going to move to Calgary? That's like the most saturated for illustrative tattooing.
Oh, and like, I mean, if there's nothing wrong with it, because it does put a fire in your ass, but it's a completely different, like here I find it's mostly trad and like realism. I find a lot more, you know, lot of realism lots here. Of trad too, but which I can't even wrap my head around. I have so much respect for trad, because I'm like, you have to take all the details out and still make it look like that? How? So fucking good.
I have that black and gray realism guy that started with me a little while ago, and he's one of those guys that like just prints out like the photo basically of like an animal, and you can't actually see what the stencil looks like. And I just come in and I'm not even doing the tattoo, and I have an anxiety attack because I'm just like, what is happening? What is that? And he's like, and then when he's done, it's just this giant grizzly bear. And I'm like, I didn't see that. I don't know how people.
Well, even since I started doing grayscale, my portrait stencils are different now. Like I'm the opposite. I have maybe 3 lines. Because now I'm just looking at the photo, and there'll be like a line for the nose and a little dot for the eye, and the rest I'm just like, okay, because there's no point. Because I'm just it's weird. It has changed everything. You can actually see it in my portraits from like a month ago till now, how even my dog portraits and like pet portraits have just changed immensely, because I'm doing it so different.
Nice.
But it's cool.
Well, like Rob Hope says, a stencil's just a suggestion.
Yeah. It's just a suggestion. I mean,
he literally is like, I just do the stencil for the client. But it's not useful.
And that is why I've done 3 script tattoos in my life. So.
Oh yeah. Any big mistakes in tattooing other than bad heels?
Yes. So for like actual like text ones.
Anything. Did you ever color something wrong? Like this guy in Nautical Stars.
Oh yeah, I've done that. Actually, you know what I do now when I do any type of stars like that? I take like a mag and I just lightly hit it. I'm like,
you can do it on your stencil.
Yeah. No, I just
you just mark it on your stencil.
That's going in there. I know, but it's I haven't really done anything too. I mean, the cool thing about what I do is another thing I was taught by Mike is, on the fly, if you fuck up, have the confidence to fix it on the fly. Like, don't be like, oh shit. Like, it's like, no, now that has to, you know what I mean? Luckily, 9% of my tattoos are custom and my clients are chill. So if that ever happens, but I did do one thing. It wasn't my fault though, but it was. But it was her kids' birthdays.
Oh,
it was like, here, do my whole arm, and also can you throw 90 years in my sleeve? And I did the tattoo, and then I got an email later, and she was devastated, and she was like, I gave you the wrong dates that my kids were born. And I'm like, she got her husband to look at the stencil, she looked at the stencil, and I did it, and I still absorbed all guilt. I'm like, oh my fucking God, like, I'm so sorry. She was good. She was like, I mean,
well, she kind of has to be.
I'm the one that that knew the dates and you didn't. And I was like, I couldn't imagine actually knowing and still fucking this up. Like, I've never, knock on wood, ever had a spelling mistake or anything, but I also don't do script. Hardly ever. So
smart.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I work next to Dave, though, who's like freehand script guy, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
I have no idea. So, but no, I mean, on the fly,
I was doing some script in Ontario on this guy's rib. Big script, like all the way down his hip and onto his leg. And his last name was like Jacksonville or something like that. And I get the stencil on. It's really big. He looks at it. He's like, I love it. And in my head, I'm like, I don't remember it being this big when I designed it for his leg. And I'm tattooing and I'm looking at the word and I'm like, Jacksonville. Oh, fuck.
Who'd Bill twice?
I caught it in time. But instead of going Jacksonville, it was just, there's something like that. Villain. Yeah.
That was like the first spelling mistake I ever saw is when I worked at Art of Torture in Toronto. And a guy came in, he was so angry. His tattoo said Canadian.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't do it.
Did he have a stutter?
Yeah, as soon as I fucking saw it, I just burst out laughing. I didn't even mean to. It was just like, but come on, hey, it was Art of Torture in 1992. It's like, he probably paid $20 for the tattoo, and he was all angry and shit. It's like, yeah, no, you're at the wrong place to be angry about it.
That's funny.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Alrighty.
Awesome.
This was fun.
It was fun.
Oh.
Yay.
Well, that's been a great interview. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, it's super fun. I'm sorry if I ruined it, but it'll be good.
It'll be
it probably won't get many views. Or let's put a box. Black box.
Episode 9. We tried.
It's so true.
No, it's been great.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, I had fun.
Yeah, me too. Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm glad. It's nice to get to know somebody new. I looked up to your work for a little while now, so I'm glad you're not a total fuck up. Like that was always my big worry.
Yeah.
You like somebody's tattoos, and then you meet them, and you're like, fuck.
I have people who meet me, they're like, you're actually nice. I'm like, what the fuck? Of course I'm nice. Like, just because I think also with women, like there are some women who like have this like hardcore like defense mechanism about them, and I'm just like a squishy teddy bear. I'm really not. I'm just It's pretty funny. I also don't think a lot before I talk, and I feel really bad about that.
That's okay. Yeah.
That's why we get along.
That's why we tattoo.
Yeah, it's true. I don't have to say sorry about it.
Oh, fuck. Alrighty.
It was great getting to know Curly and this amazing guy that tattooed with one arm. You know, the customer had to stretch his own skin.
So I did get blood poisoning from him twice. Yeah, twice.
Ed Hardy brought this whole Japanese influence into American tattooing.
Once Dave Shore come onto the scene, it was like tattooing completely changed.
If anybody could say anything about greaseball Japanese, it's fucking Dave Shore.
Salty, piratey, bikery, just hard not to do.
Man, he'd pull in on his chopper with the tattoos and the girls, and I mean, he was just like so cool, man.
He captured vulgarity and pleasure and insanity and recklessness.
Tattooer in the 80s or 70s, just not the same, you had to be a tough guy.
I was scared shitless. Even though I was kind of a biker guy, these were bigger biker guys, you know?
I'm not totally sure you could paint the picture accurately to somebody now getting into tattooing about what it was like then. And the only reason I would say or I feel that way, though, is because they might not believe you.
We had the limo waiting for him with all the lines of blow lined up at the airport. This is the way we do it in Canada.
In like 80s, 90s, Paul Jeffries was like the king of tattooing. It wasn't just in Canada.
Like, am I supposed to stop tattooing?
Because if this is what I'm supposed to aspire to, it's not going to happen.
Each one of these old masters influenced groups of tattooers who in turn influenced other groups of tattooers.